The build show today is a fan request. We are back at a job that we visited a year ago. We made a really popular video about why you might consider 2x8 wall framing. And I often get in the comments, hey, go back and check out this house when it's done. And that's exactly what we're doing on today's video. This happens to be the personal house of my friend Jake Bruton, who's a builder here in Columbia, Missouri. We've got a really good video today, not just on efficiency and a really well-built house, but also on craftsmanship. I told Jake earlier when I toured this, I think this house should be in Dwell magazine. There's some really cool modern details, but he built it on, I think, a pretty good budget. So this video from Columbia, Missouri, visiting again, let's get going. Jake, man, this house turned out beautiful.
Thank you.
I love your front facade. Looks like some hardy out there, maybe some Western red cedar. Yep. Beautiful front. But man, there's a great story to be told in this house, Jake. I think the craftsmanship and the efficiency, I liken this to a Ferrari in terms of looks, but the Prius performance. Walk me through from your perspective, the house, and then actually I've got a surprise for you later in the video. I've got Steve Baczek, the architect who designed your house, who's gonna walk through and show you from his perspective.
Yep.
But get us started, Jake. Show me some of the cool things you did here.
So I think the conversation does start with Steve and with us working as a team. We really work well together. We have a great collaborative effort where we challenge each other constantly for every house to be better. And this is the culmination of building a couple houses together.
It helps. It definitely helps.
We have a fully insulated slab underfoot.
Insulation under the slab.
Yep. While we have concrete, it is as warm a concrete as you're going to get without actually running heating through it. We have a 2x8 thick wall.
So that's this thickness here. You can see it on this wall. 2x8 thick. That's pretty darn thick wall right there. So and all your exterior walls are 2x8.
2x8, advanced frame, 24 inches on center, deleting headers anywhere that they're non-essential, and then just trying to be really deliberate with our envelope. We have a zip R, so we have zip R6, continuous insulation on the outside of our framing.
So 1 inch of foam on the outside of the framing. And then what'd you do inside your 2x8s?
And then we flash sprayed with 2 inches of closed cell through everything, rim, stud bays, headers, everything, and then cellulose fill after that.
So what's the R value of those walls?
R42, thereabouts.
Dang, R42 walls.
Yeah,
that's
so
thick.
We're trying to, you know, we're also in a busy neighborhood and we're close to busy streets. And so we also wanted the house to be quiet, and that's an added benefit of super efficient walls. You know, that higher value wall knocks down the noise.
How does that compare to code for your? Is that double code?
Yeah, that is double code.
R21 would be a standard code wall.
Yep. And
then what's the story in your windows? We looked at those last time we were here.
Yeah, the window package is from Schuco. We got them from European Architectural Supply in Boston. It's a contact that Steve has brought to us that are fantastic. They are R9, R10 glass, somewhere in there. They're tilt turn, so they really lock into place and they really seal very well. And they're an integral part of the envelope here. The envelope here tested at 0.07 ACH50. So a tenth of what Passive House allows for.
Damn.
Now that is a cheating number. We were 0.3 ACH50, half of Passive House. And then we used Aarow barrier because we were trying to figure out what Aarow barrier means for the world. And that's just they pressurize the house, they aerosolize a sealant, and then it basically finds every little hole in the envelope.
Dang.
So that, you know, we took it from half of Passive House to a tenth of Passive House. And that 0.7 number, 0.07 is, you know, that's the blower door leaking. That's not the envelope.
But what I love about this house, Jake, is that there's not just a performance story here, but I think the craftsmanship and some of the details you did. You mind if we show off your kitchen here first off? I mean, this kitchen is gorgeous, Jake. Talk to me about what you did here.
So we have a great cabinet shop here in town. Andy with Stickman Productions and his lead carpenter, Pete, they are fantastic. And they essentially will do anything I ask. Now they might shrug their shoulders and go, really? Is that what you want to do? But you know, we asked for box joints on the drawers. The layout is completely equal. There's 5 sets of drawers. They're all the same. And you know, we're able to do
that really operates too. You grab it on the bottom.
Yep. minute details where, like on this drawer, all of them are like this. Because we wanted that reveal line up front, we have a little swoop at the end of the drawer that then hides the hardware that's behind
it. Looks like you forgot to put the face frames on and put the drawer fronts on. Is my first thought when I first looked at it, and then I realized, no, you're showing off the craftsmanship of the cabinet maker. And these are all solid hardwood boxes, and I don't know if that's a veneer or solid, but it looks amazing.
They're 3/4 plied. They're glued and screwed. There's no MDF. There's no 1/4 ply.
Gorgeous.
They really do a great job. And this is actually like the beginning of the conversation of what we're calling like the hierarchy of architecture. So if you look at houses that were built 150 years ago, the nice stuff would be out front. The nice stuff would be in the entryway or the parlor where you entertain. And the further away from that you get, the less quality things might be. And I don't mean less quality, I mean we make different choices. So the cabinets in this pantry are white oak, but they're plywood, and they have the same look and feel aesthetically to start out, but then you realize that they're not solid wood, they're not dovetailed, but it's just like really this is a slightly more private space. So, and you'll see this hierarchy throughout the house as the further away we get.
This is where we were standing when we were looking at your 2x walls, I think, right?
Yep.
And there's all that. I think we were plumbed for your ice maker at that point. I like how you're integrating your fridges and turning a more standard fridge into an integrated fridge look. That's kind of cool. And this mini split that I'm seeing here, is that your only heating and cooling for this first level here?
That is the only HVAC system on this entire elevation. So there's 1,100 square feet on this floor.
One mini split
takes
head.
care of it. Yeah, and actually there's 3 more systems upstairs. The house in total is 4,300 square feet. But on this elevation, when we commissioned the system, it was August, and they were all ready to go, and I said, we're just turning this one on for now because I want to see what's going to happen. And from here to the furthest end of the house, there was a 6-degree temperature difference.
Wow.
With just one mini split in 4,300 square feet.
That's the story of a really well insulated envelope and also a really airtight envelope right there. That one mini split head is doing this entire first floor. Now, we haven't shown it yet, Jake, but this is spectacular. Talk to me about this staircase, man.
This is, we give Stickman Productions credit for the cabinets, and like they knock it out of the ballpark, and it comes down to, this is a team. It's Steve, it's Stickman, and it's Emmett with Russell Built. This literally came to fruition because my wife said, I want this staircase, and showed him a picture, and he said, okay. And then literally built the staircase from the picture.
You showed me that picture earlier. It looks just like the staircase.
People would think that it's the same staircase. And he was flexible enough with us because we wanted it to look very dainty. We wanted it to look like there wasn't much structure to it. We built the whole thing and played with it, and then decided that we needed to add some pieces.
It's amazing.
He was very open to our process and helping us.
It looks like it's folded steel, but these are probably bent plates that are welded to each other. Is that right?
Yep. So they're just welded on the innermost point of the toe kick, and then we had the steel shop just make that bend for us
on a break of some sort for that. Is that 1/4 inch plate or what is that? 1/4 inch.
It is.
And then these are solid rods that are welded top and bottom. And then he did this really nice curve on your rail, and then the green paint job. I mean, it's spectacular, Jake. I love it.
He really knocks it out of the park for us. Like we're really happy with the work that he does.
Love it. Let's go upstairs, man. Now, Jake, that first floor, is that a polished concrete that we were just walking on?
It's regular concrete with a Trizec finish. It's a 3M sanding system, basically. So it's a kind of almost like a Scotchgard finish on it. So it's not a traditional polish where they grind.
Gotcha. Now this floor is gorgeous. I'm a more traditional guy. I like this.
We were looking for something more inviting than the concrete floors on the second level. And we really were interested in wide plank, and we were really interested in matte finish or low luster finish.
That is really matte finished.
White oak. So this is a French white oak finished with
gorgeous,
basically Rubio's monocoat, and this comes from Delta Millworks in Austin,
Texas.
You know the guys at Delta.
Yeah, those guys ship nationwide, so they shipped all the way to Missouri here.
And actually, that process was pretty cool because one carrier basically 2 guys in a delivery truck, straight from them to us. No chain of handling that was a problem or anything like that. It actually worked really well. I was
delivered straight to your job.
Yep.
And was this pre-finished with the Rubio, or did you?
It is. It's pre-finished, and I think it's fantastic because the other thing about the Rubio monocoat is we can just repair it.
Yeah.
It's not like a poly where we'd have to sand everything.
It actually kind of soaks in.
Yeah, it's I think they call it a burnable finish, so it burns itself back into the layer underneath.
That's beautiful, man. Yeah. I love it.
And so dimensionally stable because it's engineered.
Oh, okay. This is an engineered. So talk to me about that.
Well, so
why not a solid 8-inch plank?
So people panic when you say engineered, or they think that you're going to cheap out in some way. The traditional hardwood floor, it's 3/4 inch thick and it's wood. And it's one piece of wood all the way through. 2
1/4 white oak. I've used a ton of it over the years.
And the reason that it doesn't get much wider than 2 1/4 is because you get stability issues when you get fluctuations in humidity and temperature.
The wider you get, the more it wants to do this.
So we would never dare do a 7.5 inch wide floor like this in solid wood. If we wanted to, we'd make everybody involved sign a waiver that it's not our fault if it comes.
It moves.
But this has a plywood core and plywood's stable. And clients are like, oh, well, but it's not real wood. Well, it is still real wood. The possibility of damage is exactly equal to hardwood.
And that wear layer on the top is pretty thick,
and sandable. So we have a refinishable floor.
Around 1/4 inch or so, más o menos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
great. And so, there's really no downside. There's just upside to, we get better possibilities, we get better stability, and, it's gorgeous.
It's a 100-year floor.
Yeah.
And then there's no carpet too. And then the other nice thing about engineered is there's less wood involved, right? These oak trees are a precious commodity, but if you're going to last for 100 years, we're using that commodity well, but we only need 1/3 of it.
And if you're going to steel 7.5 inch wide boards, you really have to use as much as you possibly can out of that board.
Oh, I like seeing this. What do we have here?
This is the most energy efficient water heater on the planet, from what I understand.
Dang.
This is the Sandin Senko 2 83 gallon. It has actually what we're looking at is not the water heater.
Really?
This is a stainless steel tank that's insulated. That's
okay, so there's
no mechanism for heating right here. So our outdoor cassette that looks just like our mini split cassette from our HVAC, it's an outdoor air source heat pump. So the water lines run from here to outside. The heating takes place out there, and then it comes back in, which for us, this thing was an easy sell. My master bedroom's on the other side of that wall, so I didn't want to hear a water heater in a really quiet house.
Yeah, there's no noise from here.
Yeah, you hear everything. We wanted no combustion in the house, so we're looking at electric water heaters, and that means heat pump.
Yep.
And if you do an interior heat pump where the air source heat pump's in here, you have to couple that to like 700 cubic feet of space.
Plus it's blowing cold in the wintertime, which is not great. Summertime it could be helpful, but not in the winter.
A louvered door, so you have to hear it.
Yep.
And it didn't make sense, and we were really trying to problem solve it. And we came to the Sandin, and it's really interesting that they get like 500% energy efficiency ratings with their outdoor unit. They're heating to higher temperatures than other water heaters because they get a better efficiency. And then it's a CO2 is the refrigerant.
How cool is that?
The global warming potential if you have a refrigerant leak is
zero.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. That's really, we're exhausting CO2 every time we take a breath.
Yep, for sure.
That is really cool, Jake. Anything I missed that you wanted to show off? I'm going to bring Steve in too and have a architect's perspective on your house.
Let's poke our head around the corner real quick.
Let's do it. All right, Jake, where are we entering now?
This is the master bedroom, and while the house is decent size, we still have modest rooms. We don't need a ton of space in the master bedroom, but I think the really interesting thing here is the master bath. We're still doing some assembly, so you got to bear with us.
I'm still in construction.
Yeah, we're waiting on a toilet and a shower door. We have Schluter's Dietra heat under the tile.
Ooh, Dietra heat.
Nice warm tootsies.
Cool.
I'm really interested to see how it operates with the fact that the house doesn't dissipate heat and like how low we're going to have to turn it to keep it from making the room hot.
Too hot.
Yeah. Same cabinets. So that hierarchy, we're the master bedroom, so we get the nice cabinets.
Man, those are
kids'
beautiful.
hall bath is the same cabinets as the pantry.
That's gorgeous.
And then the adjoining office has another step down.
Man, I love these lighted mirrors. What are these?
These are from Kohler.
That still has the plastic on it even.
This one's unwrapped though. These are from Kohler, and they're not a medicine cabinet. They're just a mirror, and they really do put off. I look way more. I know it's not really possible, but I look more handsome in that
mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
I love a lighted mirror because your face, like when you're shaving, just gives you great light when I go to a hotel. I need to think about something like this for my house. Well done, Kohler.
And we also had another conversation that the tile was mail order.
Is that right?
The tile came from online. It came from a company called Zia Tile.
Is that your drain in the center, by the way?
That
I'm
is
sorry,
our drain.
I cut you off on your thought there. I just noticed how sleek that looks.
So we have 2 single slope pans from Schluter.
Mm-hmm.
They're high density foam. A lot of people panic when you say foam pan. They're like, well, that's going to crush. That's 300 PSI. That's more than porcelain tile. So
it's not crushing anytime soon.
Even if I'm walking around in high heels, I'm not gonna break that pan. Comes with the waterproofing on it, and then we use their stainless steel drain assembly. So literally from ceiling to where it connects to the Schedule 40 PVC pipe under the ground is all one warranty, one manufacturer.
That's all that Curdy system, right?
Yep, it's all
and
Schluter's
that
Curdy.
drain body you tile into, is that right?
Yep, so it comes with a drain cover. I don't think I can get it out without there we go, I can. It comes with a tool to pull that out.
Oh, that's cool, man.
so
Look at that.
Channel body comes with that stainless steel cap, and then we're just able to tile
So
it.
if you needed to pull a plug of hair out of there someday,
Yep.
you can just pop it right out.
Exactly. Yeah, and it even has a little hair catcher down in there that
That's
isn't in there
slick.
right now.
That's like
But
I'm a big
it looks
fan
like
of
a
the
grout line.
I'm a big fan of the Schluter system too. This tile's neat, man. Weird that we're
pretty
ending up in the
interesting.
master shower together, but guys, if you don't know Jake, go follow him on Instagram. Fantastic builder. He's shooting videos every single week for BuildShowNetwork.com. Gorgeous house, man. Thanks for having me back. Our first video killed it. I mean, it's like 1 million views just about on 2x8 construction, but to see the finished house and not just the performance, but the craftsmanship, I love it. I told these guys earlier, I think this house should be in Dwell magazine. I mean, there's some great details.
Thank you.
And I love that you built it not on some millionaire's budget either, right?
Yeah.
You did things where you spent money wisely, but you didn't overspend.
Yeah.
Gorgeous house, gorgeous house. Let's go get Steve. We're gonna do the same walkthrough from Steve's perspective, from the architect's perspective. He hasn't listened to any of this either, so he has no idea what Jake just talked about.
I'm interested to hear what he says.
I am too, but you can't listen. You gotta watch the video when we publish it on YouTube. Let's go get Steve outside. All right, guys, y'all have met Steve Baczek before.
What's up, bro?
Steve, beautiful house you designed here for Jake and his family. What do you want to show us on this house from both a performance perspective and the craftsmanship perspective from your architect's eyes?
So I think it's really important that, you know, in planning the house, that you plan houses to be the house, but there's also planning that goes in for potential future things. And I know, you know, when you guys were on the front, you can go back and you can take a look at it, but we could see it here. You see the roof slope up above the blue there, where we have a 4 basically coming into, I think that's about a 10 or a 12 that comes into
That
it.
12-12 pitch, that real steep roof.
So we have the really steep roof, but you see that one that's flatter. So basically what I did was I took the ridge and slid it over. And the reason for that is it elongates that one side that faces due south. So in the planning of the house, we're also planning for this house to potentially be a zero energy house.
Thus the due south.
So due south and a longer field for the PV array there to take this house to zero energy.
That's really smart.
And then we basically mirrored it. So you can see the mirrored version here.
Yeah, so this roof also has a similar pitch, but in this case, it's not for solar. It's
not
just
for
to keep
solar.
it matching.
And we could put solar on the steeper 12 pitch here. We could run a whole array down. I mean, we're probably on an order of about 60 feet there. So
There's a lot that
we'd
could
get
go there.
20 panels there.
Yeah.
So, and in doing it, you notice that it really set up a nice little courtyard in the back here. And, you know, a couple other features out here that, you know, aside from all the different sidings and stuff, is we did a little covered walkway
I like that.
here. And
Protects that door,
protects
sits
that
it
door
back.
from the water, and it allows you to open that door in a rainstorm and still kind of get that fresh air, that nice rainy day smell in the house,
Or even just let the dog out.
or letting the dog out. So, and
The other thing
kids
I
have
want
a
to
little
mention.
protected.
Oh, sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to
it's
cut you
okay.
off. I was going to say the other thing I want to mention is when you design those roof pitches and that pitch change, if that was a hand cut roof, that might have been a little bit more difficult or expensive. But this is a truss roof, right?
This is a truss roof, so we have raised heels in there for energy trusses. and the pitch, the truss,
it doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost anything, and it's
Yep.
crazy because I have a bunch of houses now where we've done a lot of crazy things with the trusses.
And it's no big deal for the truss
and it
manufacturer.
really isn't no big deal.
It's a normal day at the office.
Yeah.
I like that. Steve, let's go in and let's show some more from the inside. How about
Take
that?
a look at that. Let's go through this beautiful lift and slide door by EAS and Schuco.
Those big doors operate really smoothly, don't they, Steve?
Yeah, they do. These are those European lift and slide doors. I know we've done a bunch of videos and we've talked about these, but you know, nice pair of 14-foot doors here to make up this corner really opens up this whole space to the backyard. Both of them go out. You know, there's covered entries on both sides here, so you can leave both doors open here and then basically have the living room here, right?
It's a pretty house, man. I was talking to Jake about his gorgeous kitchen and his stairs. But what, from an architect's perspective, do you want to point out to us?
So I think before we talk specifically about the architecture, I think there's one point that I would love to make is that as an architect, when you're doing custom houses, you know, you're not designing it for the masses like a production house, right? This is a house for a very specific couple that has a very specific idea on how they want to live. So we have a pretty extensive design process in that I really try and take, you know, these thoughts that are out this wide and continually refine them so we can get at the heart of the matter. So it's almost like, you know, you're buying a piece of artwork for you. The artwork just happens to be in the form of the house,
right,
rather than a painting on the wall or a sculpture, right? So, you know, I guess I say that partially in sensitivity to the people that say, oh, that house isn't for me. Oh, concrete floors, I'd never want that. But it's not about what you want. It's about what the clients want.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. And we go through this extensive process. So anyways, that being said, you know, we have a two-story house. It's a slab on grade. The house is a high-performance house. We have insulation all around. But, you know, it's hard to not notice the aesthetics of the concrete floor in here. And it's not for everybody, but it does, whether you like it or not, it sets kind of a tone for the house, right? It gives it that kind of cutting edge, industrial, somewhat sterile look, right, of a modern house.
It is a little bit, but I think that's kind of Jake's aesthetic, right? You know, this concrete's modeled and that's the finish. I know he was telling me the other day, this is a silestone countertop. It's got a little bit of veining in it, so you're not sure if it's a natural material, but if that gray and gray kind of go together, and then that makes the staircase pop that much more on just a stark white wall with a recessed base.
Yeah, and I think you make a good point, is that it's a lot of these things play off of each other, right? That you have that concrete finish and then you have the nice wood cabinets.
Yep.
But notice there's no upper cabinets on the wall.
That's right. There's no uppers over there. That's
so
interesting.
That kind of offers to the sterility of the house, right? Because you could have very easily came in, and even if you wanted to keep the windows, we could have put a cabinet here, we could have put a cabinet there, but we chose not to because we're trying to keep it kind of that sterile environment. So you still have the cabinets, but the cabinets are below your, you know, standard view upward.
I like it.
You know, beautiful big island. I mean, we're probably on the order of about 16 feet here, seating for probably 8 plus.
Yeah.
So,
Ton
you know,
of space.
Jake has a very active family, kids have friends, come over, big parties. I mean, who wouldn't want a kitchen like this
I love it,
for
Steve.
that party, right?
I love it. Talk to me about the performance side. You know, Jake mentioned this mini split head is doing the entire first floor's heating and cooling. Did you do those load calculations? Was that done by someone else?
Yeah, we have an HVAC contractor down here that, you know, will work through a bunch of stuff, but we'll get it in the ballpark and then they'll do some slight refining for us and lay out the systems and work with the mechanical contractor. But, you know, the basic idea is that we build a really good envelope. Here we have European triple glazed windows made by Schuco. So they're a really good window teamed up with that building envelope. So we bring that load way down in an effort to put one mini split on the wall to take care of this bottom floor, which was probably on the order of, I don't know, 600 or 700 feet anyway.
Yep.
Maybe even a little bit more. So, it's about building a really good house and then just putting a small amount of heating and cooling at it, rather than the alternative of let's just build a crazy house, don't care about performance, don't care about windows and doors, and then we're putting 3 of them in.
Yeah.
For the same area. So anyways, over here we have a beautiful little dining area. This is Jake's bowling alley table, where it is a true bowling alley lane that he took and then put a frame around it.
That's wild.
And the same gentleman at Russell that built the stairs, he's building some steel legs for it.
Okay, so it'll have a base out of steel.
So it'll have
not
a base
sawhorses when it's finally done.
Yeah. And then one of the other features that I think a lot of people love and appreciate is a good pantry.
Oh man, this pantry is killer.
Right. And it's attached to the kitchen, so it becomes a direct extension of the kitchen. But we also have this sized so that we can park a nice big sliding barn door there. So when you're having that nice family dinner, maybe you close
Slide the barn door over.
But when you're having that party with 50 people here, you can turn this into a bar, slide the barn door open, and then that becomes an extension
I love that.
of this room and of the kitchen. So it ends up working out really well. Put a second fridge in there, you get your ice maker, a second sink. It all works out really, really well and planned. And you can stand here and look clear across.
Yeah, all the way down
and look
the whole
out
house.
those, lift and slide doors and see that beautiful view.
It's a gorgeous design,
of
Steve.
the backyard.
Gorgeous design. Anything else we need to talk about it before we wrap it up?
I don't know if you'd take a quick chat about those stairs. It's always worth, throwing some kudos to Russell Built.
Man, we spent some time on those earlier in the video. He did a great job on those.
He does a great job. So
gorgeous design. I love it.
But no, I think, Jake and Rebecca are going to be super happy here. I love the design. They've made some really great choices. They've been really good clients. And, I wish them a long, happy life here.
For sure. Guys, if you're not familiar with Steve Baczek, incredibly talented architect. He's based out of Boston, but he really does work all over the country. And this is the kind of work that Steve's best at, really high performance. But I love that Steve can work across multiple styles. We've seen farmhouses from him, traditional houses. This one, which is much more the Dwell magazine style. Steve's able to do all those different styles and do them a super high performance envelope and systems behind the walls. Steve, amazing work as always over here. Go follow Steve on Instagram. And oh, by the way, Steve's shooting videos on buildshownetwork.com. I'll have a link in the description to sign up for our newsletter. Both Steve and Jake are shooting one new video every single week over at buildshownetwork.com. That email list, once you get on there, I'm going to send you an email on Friday mornings around 9 o'clock. You're going to get an email from me that says, here's what's new on our site. Go check out these videos from Steve or Jake or Brent or Wade or myself. Guys, if you're not currently a subscriber to The Build Show, we publish every Tuesday and every Friday. Click that subscribe button below. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you next time on The Build Show.